We're going to talk about a few topics, but the first one I wanted to speak about is nutrition. Okay, so today we're all living in the United States of America. It's one of the most powerful countries in the world. We have every benefit that we can imagine. We are so lucky. We have freedom of speech, and we have press, and we have a lot of things that people take for granted in this country that people in other countries don't have. That they can't even imagine the freedom, the type of good that we have in this country. But with that freedom, we each pay a price. And you know what that price is? That there is very tremendous propaganda in our news channels. And there is a lot of manipulation in our information. And what do I mean by manipulation in our information? Okay? Our food in America is contaminated with carcinogens, with food coloring, with preservatives, with all sorts of things that are completely unhealthy. Imagine taking Coca-Cola and putting it into our tree. What would happen to our tree? Would it be nourished? No, it's poison. It's poison for our tree, and it's also poison for our children. Anything that has high corn fructose syrup, right? Poison for our children. And yet, all of us freely buy Coke, and it's available, and it's advertised, and it's manipulative, and they say, oh, but you have to drink it, it quenches your thirst. Okay, so we're exposing our children to food coloring. I just want to explain to you what food coloring is. What is food coloring that we're giving and feeding to our children? Okay, so the most popular food coloring in the United States is red number 40, yellow number 6, and yellow number 5. Carcinogens cause hyperactivity, cause impulsivity, causes aggressive behavior in children, in growing children. And yet, each and every product that's made for a child out there looks so enticing, so colorful, so beautiful. How could a child resist? They cannot. And then the parents have to really train them to understand that it's really unhealthy for their bodies. Another thing, right? Processed foods. They take all the nutrients out of a certain food. They process it, and then they add more nutrients to it. They add food coloring to it. They add preservatives to it. And all of these affect our children's brain. They are neurotoxins. They are toxic to the brains of our children. And yet each and every one of us, right, has been guilty of feeding our children these processed foods. So this, I just wanted to mention that there is a journal, there is a clinical study that was conducted in the 90s in the British Journal, and they found that all of this information is accurate. They did studies upon studies in mice and in children, and in a lot of different ways. They did studies on these food coloring, preservatives, processed foods, different types of corn syrups and colorings that they add, additives, natural flavor that they quote is to be natural, which really isn't. And they found that it really greatly is linked with hyperactivity. What is hyperactivity? It's when children cannot control themselves. Now, as a teacher in the classroom every single day for the last 15 years, every year I see the children are less and less controlling themselves, less and less able to focus, less and less able to concentrate, less and less able to function in a classroom. So this leads me to my next topic, which is ADHD.